say how happy and excited we are to be here at another start of the Tour de France, and actually quite happy to be here in Germany. It's nice to be back in a country which has had such great participation in the past, and of course we've got Christian, who's especially excited at starting the race here. So it's really good to be back in Germany. And of course we're here trying to win the Tour again with Chris, obviously, for the fourth time, and we're pretty excited about that, and pull together what I think is an amazing team to try and take that on. And it's going to be an interesting race this year. I think the challenge of the course is maybe slightly different from what it has been in the past, and so the racing is going to be different. There's obviously some very strong competitors and strong teams, but I think the strength of our team is something that we're really going to look forward to utilising over the next 3 weeks, and in our quest to try and win the Tour de France once more. So there we go.
Chris, how do you feel? I mean, lots of people have been prepared to say that maybe this year it's different, and there's some doubts. You yourself, is there any doubt at all?
Yeah. No, I feel as if I'm exactly where I need to be. I think the Dauphiné is just what I needed to get that extra bit of race rhythm. I've been very light on race days up until the Dauphiné, and I'd like to think that means I'm coming into the Tour fresher than I've ever been before. And certainly if numbers in training and feelings on the bike or anything to go by, I'm ready for the next 3 weeks.
In the Dauphiné, one where you have a Froome. I have a question about that. Were you surprised by his performance there? And two, is he now maybe contender?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Jakob was he was very consistent over the Dauphiné. I think he rode a great race, and tactically on that last day, I think he took advantage of the situation that unfolded out on the road, which put him in the eventual leader's jersey. So I think he rode tactically a very smart race, and of course he had the form to get the job done as well. So I think he's certainly one of the guys who I'd regard as one of my rivals for the overall victory over these next 3 weeks.
Maybe one for Chris and for David. Guys, do you see the course being designed in a way that makes it harder for you to control some of those mountainous stages as you've done in recent times? Is that more of a challenge this year on paper?
Well, I think the course is different, and it has been designed differently. I think the courses have changed over the last few years. But like everything else, I think it's one of the great things about this race. It's the Tour de France every year, but it's a totally different event every year in terms of what you've got to do to prepare for it, and how you think about going about trying to analyse it all, and you think about your game plan, and you look at your strengths, and you think actually where could we use our strengths in relation to this particular course. So we've been doing our thinking up front, and we've come up with a game plan which we're looking forward to trying to roll out basically. And I think it's going to I don't think it's pretty obvious. I think that whoever's going to win this race is going to have to be pretty offensive. And we've seen some fantastic racing this year. When you look at all of the racing, and the Giro in particular was a pretty exciting race, and the Dauphiné was exciting. And I think that's the way it's going. And I think that this race has got everything, all the ingredients it needs to be to continue in that vein, really. So I think it's going to be a pretty open and exciting race. And one way you've got to be on the front foot. I don't think it's a defensive race to win. It's got to be an aggressive race. And I think it's all right.
So you said how you've come into the Tour fresher than ever before. Obviously that's part of a program of the season. Is that because you felt in the past tours you've maybe been vulnerable through fatigue or a little bit of sickness, or was it with a view to the Vuelta?
Yeah, sometimes I feel as if coming into Grand Tours, certainly in the third week, that's when it gets really tough to hang on. And I'd like to think that we took a similar approach last year with the Olympics and the Vuelta also in mind last year. And I think it did work for me last year. Came pretty close to being able to win both. I think first in the Tour and second in the Vuelta. with the Olympics in the middle as well, which made it tricky. So it's similar kind of thinking, but of course this year, if everything goes well, I'd like to focus on the Vuelta as well. So yeah.
Okay. It's been a very difficult year for Team Sky. Off the road investigations ongoing, questions over what's happened away from the road itself. Coming into the Tour de France, do you feel that this team and you as its leader have a credibility issue?
Well, we're very focused on the race, and we've had, as always, we come here and, I've been involved in this sport a long time, and I've tried to do it absolutely the way that I've always thought it should be done. And I'm proud of what we've achieved in this sport. I'm proud of this team, proud to be sitting here, and proud to be getting ready for the race.
Chris, one question for Chris and one for David, also regarding that bag, where we don't have any kind of documentation, only the word of Dr. Froome and what was in for Bradley Wiggins, and seeing that there's no documentation about medical deliveries, how much trust you have in the staff that they deliver the right things to you, or is there any doubt you have?
I don't have any trust in the guys lining up with me here in Düsseldorf for the next few weeks ahead. I mean, I've been a part of this team since the beginning, and I haven't ever seen anything untoward going on.
There was a question for trust in the staff that maybe mistakes can happen like that.
I don't have any trust issues.
And David, in your opinion, how far with these issues you are in your own perspective away from the zero tolerance claim, what you started to do?
I think there's focus on that as ever, and I'm very, very confident that we're here, we're ready to go, and absolutely we haven't changed from the values that we started racing and started this team with, and that's how we're going to keep on going and keep on going into the future.
Chris, you've been the subject of abuse on the road before. You've been the subject of suspicion. You've even had urine thrown over you on occasions. Given that in the past, and that was all before what's happened over the last 12 months and the scrutiny that's been on Team Sky, are you expecting this to be perhaps the toughest conditions you've faced in the Tour de France? And what's your message to fans going into this 3 weeks?
Not at all. I'm not expecting conditions like that at all. I mean, we were here a couple of weeks ago, racing, not in Germany, in France, on the roads of France, racing the Dauphiné, and a great atmosphere on the roads, and I don't expect it to be any different these next 3 weeks. For French fans, I mean, cycling, the Tour de France has always been a tradition for them, growing up watching the Tour, and I think that's one of the special things about the race. People do just come with the families and have a picnic or a barbecue, and it's about the spirit of the race, and that's one of the beautiful things the Tour de France has that's unique, and those fans shouldn't change anything.
Just comparing with the last years, you have the same hungry for the victory of the Tour de France. I'm asking you this because in the peloton rumors, and I heard that this year you will see when you was training in Tenerife, during one of your rest days, you went to the beach and this never happened in the past. It's true, it's not true because I was not there. So.
I would have loved to have been down at the beach, but I think whoever told you that might be a little bit misinformed. But no, the hunger definitely hasn't got any less for me. I mean, if ever, I mean, I'm as motivated as ever, given that I've got so much more to race for now. I mean, this is a 4th Tour de France, potentially a 4th Tour de France title that I'm here to try and get, and that's, I mean, it's massive. It's massive. The challenge is even bigger this year. I feel as if the level of my rivals is even higher this year, on a difficult course as well. So I'm here with all the motivation I've had before, and if not even more.
Would you like to have won before this tour, like in years past? And did you think your rivals maybe see you as a weaker Chris Froome?
Potentially. I mean, if the Dauphiné is anything to go by, then Richie Porte certainly, in terms of form and condition, Richie's going to be the man to beat, and stands out as the strongest of my rivals to go up against.
Would you have liked to win beforehand, to have a victory?
I mean, having a victory coming into the Tour de France is always great for morale and confidence. But I think I can take a lot of confidence from having won 3 tours already, and knowing that when I feel ready, I can take confidence in that.
Chris, obviously one of your rivals, you mentioned Richie. With your friendship with Richie, there's been some suggestion that you could play on the friendship factor there, tactically and maybe emotionally during the trip.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly not part of my plan, my racing plan, if that's what you're suggesting. But yeah.
Just Chris, further to that though, given you're his team leader for so long, do you feel on the road that you may have some sort of, over the course of 3 weeks, psychological advantage over him, given the relationship, the previous relationship?
I wouldn't say over him, but it's definitely, I think, an advantage having been in this position for a few years now, in the sense that it doesn't feel like such a burden anymore. I mean, I think the first year that I was here answering these questions and going through the motions, it was quite daunting and I really felt the pressure, whereas now I don't really feel the same in that sense. I feel that I'm able to focus on the race a lot more now.
Whereas others might not have that.
That remains to be seen.
Chris, 2 questions. One about the guy who's not here, about Froome. The other question is about Portugal.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the quick one. There were some sayings about that you didn't want to get involved about the decision him to go or not to go. Can you tell us a bit more specific about
this year in general, I mean, I haven't been quite as involved in the team selection as I have been in the past. But having said that, I certainly don't have any doubts about the 8 guys who are here with me. I think we've got an extremely strong team in the mountains, especially if you look at the other GC teams. I think up against them, I think I'll definitely feel confident going into the climbs with the guys that I've got here around me. Of course, not having Wout here is a huge shame. I mean, Wout was a big part of my victory last year, and certainly going to miss him in the mountains. But at the same time, I know that he needs time to get himself right after his injury. So
the other one is about Planche d'Anville. It's not one of the most famous uphill finishes in the Tour de France, but it seems like there's always something happening over there in these stages. Contador broke his leg in 1 year. That was the year you did not finish because you were already out. But you also won there a year. Can you rank this victory in your career till this day?
I mean, it was a really memorable victory for me. Obviously, the first victory I ever had on the Tour de France was on La Planche de Belleville back in 2012. So I'm certainly looking forward to going back there. And it was the first mountaintop finish as it is again this year. So I mean, it's not a long climb. It's just over 6 kilometers. So we shouldn't see big time differences, but definitely it's tough enough to show exactly where all the rivals are at and where what we can expect for the next 3 weeks. Oui, très bien, merci. Je sens que je suis prêt pour ce Tour de France. J'ai beaucoup de confiance avec mes équipiers. Je crois que oui, on a une équipe très forte qui peut faire le travail dans les montagnes. Et on verra. C'est une course très plus ouverte cette année. Et on verra qu'est-ce qui se passe. Je crois que ce sera une course oui, très agressive. Oui.
Concerning the accident that you had in training in May, have you got any news by the police of what happened?
No, not yet.
And Chris, last year you surprised us with good descending and with great walking. You have any surprise planned for this year?
I mean, what happened last year wasn't planned. So, I mean, I was just reading the race in the right moment and making a decision. Of course, I mean, I think the race this year is going to be a race that favors more aggressive riders. So I'm certainly going to be looking out for those opportunities and look to ride an aggressive race if the opportunity is there.
Dave, do you accept that this year Team Sky will be under unprecedented scrutiny because of headlines in the last 9-10 months?
No, I don't think so. I think we've been, we used to, you know, we've always probably been under a bit more scrutiny than other teams, but we've raced in France a lot this year, we've raced abroad, we did the Giro, and you know, it's been very positive reception on the roadside, so I think that's how I'd see it, really.
Are you still enjoying the job? Are you happy to be here for many more years to come?
Yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I'm proud of cycling in Britain. I'm proud of everything that's been achieved. I'm proud of every one of these lads. I'm proud of Team Sky. Yeah, I love it.
You're going nowhere?
No. Planning next year, the year after, the year after, and I'm passionate about it. I love what I do, and you know, I'm pretty patriotic, and you know, I think what we've done here is build something from, you know, from scratch really in British cycling, and very, very proud of everything that we've done with it. And now we've got a global team with, you know, many different riders from many different countries, and proud of every single one of them too. You know, and it's a real privilege to be amongst these lads and see how the quality of the work they put in, and to be sitting here with a bloke who's won the Tour de France as many times as Chris has, and going for another one. You know, it's very, very, you know, you got to remind yourselves at times, you know, just how special that is, and sometimes it becomes like a day job. It's not a day job. It's a very special but privileged thing to be doing, and I absolutely enjoy it. I love it. Yeah.
Chris, you were talking about racing more aggressively. How do you prepare for that? I mean, it's easy to prepare to be better at climbing, but it's hard to prepare to be more aggressive.
I think it's more the mindset that you come to the race with. I mean, you can't, as you point out, you can't train to be more aggressive unless you're going to go and pick fights with all the cars. And but no, I think it's more a mindset that we come to the race looking for opportunities, and if those opportunities present themselves, then definitely going to take them.
Yeah.
When Josh Edmondson was at Sky, he violated the no needles policy for the people who marched at the team cover this stuff. I don't believe you spoke on the record about this.
No, I spoke to people who need to speak about it, and yeah, I'm going to do so. Like I said, I spoke to the people I need to speak to about it, the officials.
So you compliment, did the team cover it up or not?
No. No.
Why can you just say that?
Well, I've spoken to the people who need to speak about it, and that's it. And I'm here, out of respect to these guys on the tour, we're here to talk about that. So.
Yeah.
Gary, can you talk to us a bit about the condition you're in after the setback in the Giro and the racing you've done since, and just your feelings going into this tour?
Yeah, I'm well, super excited to be here again. Obviously, the Giro didn't go to plan and whatever, but and it was tough afterwards, obviously, to, you know, mentally as much as physically as well. And but yeah, I've worked hard, and I'm at where I'm at now, and just looking forward to getting into the race.
Last month there were global talks about also your future, I mean your sport in the future. If I'm not wrong, the contract with the team also for the next season, but you see yourself also in the future, I mean ahead of 2018, still with Team Sky or not?
I think just on that note, yeah, I mean, I'm actually in the process of now finalizing an extension with Team Sky until 2021. So at least for the next 3 years. So yeah, certainly.
Chris, in the past or the history of the Tour de France, there are some examples for straight winners or multiple winners of the Tour de France that people or the public seem to be a bit annoyed. You even heard some boos as well in the past. Do you feel sometimes it's a burden to be the champion in the Tour de France?
I think it's certainly. I can understand why people have struggled to win multiple tours after having won a tour once. You do come in with extra burdens, extra expectations. I think that's what makes winning multiple Tour de France titles so unique, and why so few people have done it in the past.
Dave, most years in the tour you face questions, whether it's about Chris's cadence, it's about his power output, leaping of this. Your answers always come down to credibility, always come down to believe in us, we do things the right way. Your credibility has taken a battering in the last 9 months. How's that? What are you going to tell us when those questions are asked?
Believe in us, we're doing it the right way.
And why should we believe in you?
Because we're doing it the right way.
But how do we know that?
Well, you obviously, over time, over time, that time will tell. We're doing it the right way, let me tell you, we are 100% doing it the right way, and we'll continue to do it.